I said on yesterday's show, Aaron Bradshaw, 5-star center, DJ Wagner, 5-star combo guard. They are currently high school teammates, and I said, from what I've seen, they have said that they want to go to different schools. That is not a fact. That is a rumor. It has allegedly been said that they want to go to different schools, or at the very least, Bradshaw doesn't necessarily want to be a package deal with Wagner. He wants to go somewhere where he's appreciated and he's being recruited for his talents alone. Or not, I guess not necessarily alone, but he wants to be recruited by somebody that wants to recruit him, I guess is what I'm trying to say. The rumor that they want to go to different schools has not been confirmed by anyone, but it's definitely been a topic of conversation. I believe KSR has talked about it a little bit. It's not like it's just something that should be dismissed. People are discussing, oh, that's a possibility. People have heard some things, but it's not been definitively confirmed. I wanted to get that out of the way quick before I talk about DJ Wagner, because we talked a little bit on yesterday's show about him. I kind of want to dive into him more as a prospect, because as the days go on, it looks more and more likely that Kentucky has a legitimate shot to pick up this kid. So DJ Wagner, we talked about him again a little bit on yesterday's show, just to kind of give you a brief recap of what we discussed. 5-star combo guard, 6'3", 165 pounds. He is the number one player in the country. Number one combo guard, number one player in the country. Right now, looks like a Kentucky-Louisville battle for this kid out of Camden, New Jersey. Camden High School played with Lance Ware, believe it or not, at Camden High School. So this is a kid that is really, really exciting to watch. You look at 24/7 Sports analysis of this kid, and I'll just go ahead and read it, and then I'll give my thoughts after watching some film on Wagner. Began his career as the top-ranked player in the class of 2023, and again, this is 24/7 Sports talking. And he comes from a family with a strong basketball bloodline. At his core, he's a combo guard who specializes in filling it up. Though not an overwhelming athlete, Wagner is very skilled and quite clever in his scoring. He gets to the rim, has an array of floaters, pull-up jumpers, and can fire away from deep. That is what 24/7 Sports says. And my analysis is fairly similar. The first thing that I noted watching this kid is, you know how we talked about Robert Dillingham being very crafty. We've talked about other guys like Chris Livingston being very physical, very explosive, some other guys we've discussed on the show. This kid plays light. He's 6'3", 395 pounds. He's not bouncy, has insane, like 24/7 Sports mentioned, not insane athleticism, but he plays light. He doesn't carry a lot of force or weight in his offensive moves. He doesn't push into anything aggressively. And even when he's attacking the rim, very light, very bouncy kid, but not in the way that you would think like he's going to get up and be dunking all game. No, he just plays very, very light, and you would obviously like to assume that, considering the kid's 165 pounds. His jump shot, I saw a ton of different looks from his jump shot, whether it be from the quarter, straight on, from the wing. His jump shot can be a little awkward at times because his base is not the most consistent. He's one of those players that likes to kind of bend his knees in and shift his weight onto one hip whenever he goes up, whereas I think that you would typically like to coach kids to obviously you want to be able to, you don't want to be shooting flat-footed directly looking at the basket. Obviously, you want to have a little bend and how you do stuff, and everybody shoots a little differently. So maybe this is just me getting a little too much into critiquing him, but it's not like your standard Tyler Hero jumper, right? It's not like you're straight up, straight down. He can kind of bend his knees a little bit. We've seen this with several other players that have come through the college game and have come into the NBA and worked just fine. I will say, though, outside of his base, his form is completely fine. So it's not like a huge thing. That was my one knock on his game, is he plays well within what he does, and what he does very well, but his base is inconsistent when it comes to his three-point shot. We're going to talk about the stats here in a little bit. I believe that the numbers reflect that. But the shooting is not necessarily even what my concern is, not what my concern, not what I'm drawn to. It's not what he's known for. It's not what intrigues me. It's his offense, I believe, in the mid-range and in the paint. And some Kentucky fans out there may say, oh boy, another guard that can't shoot. No, I'm not saying that he can't shoot. I'm just saying that I really like what he does whenever he goes to attack the rim. Got really, really solid offensive game inside the arc. Again, like I mentioned, like 24/7 Sports notes. A lot of different floaters. Very, very nice touch. Again, like I mentioned, he plays light. Not particularly explosive, not particularly fast, not particularly athletic, but He's got a really, really nice offensive game, just smooth, silky smooth, just kind of getting to his spot and making his shot. And that's what 24/7 Sports notes as well. He's quite clever in his scoring. Now, he's listed as a combo guard, right? He's listed as a combo guard, so that means he could potentially play at point for the Wildcats. After looking at some of his film, and I think there will be other people out there that agree with me, this is not a revelation here, I think that he would play off the ball mostly for the Wildcats if he were to commit or wherever he goes. If he does choose to go to Louisville, from what I can tell, he would play off the ball. Even though it does seem that he's capable of handling and distributing the basketball, I would play him, if it were me coaching, I would play him solely at the 2. And if I were Kentucky, I would let him play off of Robert Dillingham, who is a very excellent scorer, can create an isolation of himself. Dillingham more of a point guard in my mind, so I would like to put the 6'3" shooting guard kind of off of him. And it's obviously not a two-man game, but what I'm saying is, like, you could definitely run some sets where you work two of those guys and let them be the focal point, let them run and get their shot, which quite honestly sounds really, really nice considering what has happened over the last couple of seasons and what may happen this year. Kentucky doesn't have a 1 or a 2 right now that can really create like Robert Dillingham or like this kid, DJ Wagner, can. So, I mean, this looks like a really, really solid potential get for the Wildcats. Obviously, a really, really high target for them. And I'll take a look at the numbers, and I kind of want to explain why I'm diving into this kid today. So he played at Camden High. His stats there last season, 19.6 points per game. He averaged 3.5 assists per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, 3 steals per game. And I think the most interesting thing you have to note here, he was the New Jersey Player of the Year in back-to-back years. So the New Jersey Gatorade Player of the Year, back-to-back years. I believe his his sophomore year it would be. He averaged like 22 points a game. So he was a really good scorer. But the thing that intrigued me, I was just trying to find numbers on this kid. So he played in the 2021 Nike EYBL circuit. He played in the circuit, played 12 games. And he averaged almost 17 points a game, 16.8 to be exact. But it was the shooting performances that he had against some legitimate competition, legitimate high school competition, concerns me a little bit. But not to the point where it's just like, I'm out on this kid. I don't think he can't shoot. I don't think he can play. No, he still averaged almost 17 a game. But he shot 38.6% from the floor in those 12 games with the EYBL circuit, and he shot 26.1% from 3. Now, he did shoot 79% from the foul line, which is really, really nice to see, but 26 from 3 and 38 from the floor is not something you want to see out of a volume guy. It looks like he's a volume guy to put up a lot of shots in those 12 games. Clearly, because he has shot 38% and still averaged almost 17. But point being is, while he may not be the most efficient player, at least he wasn't in the EYBL, everything about him indicates that this would be a really, really solid pickup for the Wildcats who need help at the 2 moving forward. And I love Severe Wheeler. I'm really excited to see what he does this season. I believe his shot's going to improve. I believe he's going to improve as a player. Really good at what he does. But there have been some fans out there that have complained. I don't even want to use the word complain, just voiced their opinion on Kentucky's decision to run with a backcourt that is not particularly lengthy or can shoot the basketball well. I'm excited to see what Antonio Reeves does for the Wildcats this season to see if they can maybe change some of that. But the way that they're looking on the recruiting trail right now, really, really exciting with some of these guys. And I'll just go ahead and point out here why I wanted to bring this up. So again, like I mentioned, the rumors out there are that Aaron Bradshaw and DJ Wagner don't want to play with each other, right? So if those rumors are true, you have to start to evaluate both of these kids. And like I said on yesterday's show, you don't necessarily have to choose right now, if you're a Kentucky fan, which one of these guys do I want? Which one am I going to rock with? But you also kind of have to do that if you're going to take what's being said at face value. Because you look at Aaron Bradshaw right now, none of this has been confirmed. This is just simply what I've read and probably what you have read as well. It looks like he's trying to hold out for a G League offer, an NBA G League offer. Now, I don't know if that's true. Makes sense if he's doing that. But if Bradshaw holds out, we've kind of voiced concerns about, okay, what's Kentucky going to do at the center position? What are they going to do at the 5? Are they going to get a recruit? Are they going to get a transfer? Well, if the rumors are true about these two players and Kingsley is the backup option, I think that everything just kind of looks like it's going to fall into place. It's just a matter of time. We see Bradshaw go elsewhere. We see him maybe go to another college, or we see him move to the G League. Kentucky goes after Kingsley after setting up a visit with him. They get the 5-star center. They get the Shibwe replacement. They like their depth there with some of these guys behind him. May even pick up a transfer depending on what Damian Collins does this season. After this season, whether or not he declares. You may want to pick up a transfer next offseason is what I'm saying. And you really, really like what you're getting potentially in DJ Wagner if he were to come to the Wildcats, which again, I'm not saying all signs are pointing to he's going to be a Wildcat. Let's just go ahead and wait it out. He's going to be a Wildcat definitively. I'm not sitting here and saying that. I'm just saying that as the days go on, it looks more and more likely that he's going to be a Wildcat. We talked about it on yesterday's show. The most recent crystal balls for this kid have the two most recent crystal balls for this kid have been in favor of Kentucky on 24/7 Sports. So that's what I wanted to talk about to begin the show. DJ Wagner potentially committing to the Wildcats or Louisville at some point down the road. And I'm really, really excited to see what this kid could do for the Wildcats, because I think he would be a really, really nice pairing in next year's backcourt.